I think to a complete outsider, someone that doesn't know me, I think I probably look like the model parent. You know, doing all the right things, saying all the right things. The reality is I don't feel like I cope. I haven't enjoyed 1 minute of having Izzy, and that's not what having a baby is supposed to be about. I wish I'd never had her. I resent her.
Zoe and Izzy are about to embark on an extraordinary journey. By the end, their relationship will be transformed.
I don't want to be how I am.
This film tells the story of how Zoe learned to love Izzy and how Izzy learned to love her mother. Like all human babies, Izzy is helpless. At 5 months, she's not even old enough to sit up or crawl. One thing alone ensures her survival: that the adults around her find her lovable, crucially her mother. But her mother doesn't love her. Like 1 in 10 mothers, 28-year-old Zoe has postnatal depression. It's so severe that she can't form a loving bond with Izzy, just when Izzy needs her most.
For a mother to express negative feelings towards her baby, it's just a taboo, and it makes it incredibly difficult for a mother to ask for help. But in my experience, mothers which I meet nearly always are grappling with and trying to cope with really difficult, often hostile feelings towards their baby, which they feel awful about.
But Zoe has found the courage to ask Amanda Jones for help. And at the world-famous Anna Freud Centre in London, they're about to meet for the first time.
Hello. Hi, Zoe.
They'll spend a year exploring how Zoe can learn to love her baby.
Hello, Izzy. That's a lovely smile, thank you. Can you and your mummy go here? This is a new...
By watching mother and baby together and going back to Zoe's past, Amanda hopes to uncover the secrets blocking Zoe's maternal instincts. These have been absent since Izzy's birth.
I looked at her and I just thought, I just felt numb, like nothing, like she wasn't part of me, you know, but like I was never pregnant and she was nothing to do with me in a sense. And like everybody was saying, God, isn't she beautiful? And I was looking at her thinking, well, I don't think that at all. I think she looks horrible, you know, she doesn't look like a baby to me.
When you look at her, what do you see? No?
Just that she doesn't feel like she's part of me. And that's what's going to make me cry, and then I feel guilty for feeling like that because I know she's mine.
Izzy was born 6 weeks premature. Zoe's reaction to this offers the first clue to the puzzle of why she doesn't love her baby.
Very skinny, extremely jaundiced, she looked almost orange. Not like I didn't want... Yeah, it was horrible, a horrible feeling.
Because when your mummy saw you, she didn't see a little baby. She didn't see a baby. I think she thought she had given birth to something, I don't know, almost kind of...
Alien-like.
Alien,
yeah.
Monster-like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she didn't see you for the little baby. She saw a little mini monster there. Sorry. It's okay.
I think the worst feeling I have is, it doesn't matter how I feel about it, it's the guilt I feel about feeling it that is the worst part of it all, because I know I shouldn't really have felt like that and no one else did, and it was like...
When she described her feelings with Izzy in the incubator, My thought as she said that was she felt she'd given birth to a monster. This was not a baby to her. And she used the word later on. She looked like an alien. And I think that would indicate that there's probably lots in terms of how Zoe feels about herself that she feels is monstrous, that's bad, and that somehow she produced this and the world can now see it in some way, that she's not able to produce a good baby because she's not good. And I have no idea where that all comes from yet.
Zoe feels so negative about Izzy that she keeps her at arm's length. In turn, Izzy avoids her mother's face. Like all babies, she gets upset by stressed or blank faces and copes by turning away. But Izzy responded well to Amanda's smiles in the session.
In terms of Izzy's capacity to interact with me, it shows that she's a baby who can be responsive to a responsive person, which is good. And I think that's because, from what Zoe's told me, Izzy has a dad who's loving and responsive.
Zoe lives in Evesham with Dave, Izzy's father, a lorry driver.
Oh, the Chubbis. Hello. I bought some new baby grows today.
They fit it.
He's great with both Izzy and her 4-year-old sister Zara, Zoe's daughter from a previous relationship.
Little paw.
A little paw. All them silly shoes.
I was on my own when I had Zara
Don't go in there then.
for about the first 6 months until I met my partner now. It was basically me and her and that was it.
Hey, look.
What do we do here?
Stop.
Like many single mothers, Zoe found coping with Zara alone difficult. But things improved when she met Dave.
You want to go on this bridge?
Yeah.
Bloody long way around.
Puzzle. Look, can I jump in them? I got bacon wet. Bacon wet.
No matter, does it?
I want to watch.
Go on then.
Dave and Zoe were both delighted when she got pregnant with Izzy. So Zoe's reaction to their new daughter came as a terrible shock to them both.
When I'd first had Izzy and I just before I got diagnosed with the postnatal depression, I sent Dave a text saying, I can't cope, I feel like a failure. I wish I'd never had her. I resent her, and it's like, how could I resent a baby? But I do, and it's like, if I hadn't had her, I wouldn't have got depressed and I wouldn't feel the way I do now. I know I love her from the point of if I put her on the bed or if Zara picks her up, I'll think, don't put her too close to the edge. So from that point of view, I don't want her to get hurt. But to me, that's a surface level love. That's how you'd love your dog or or a pet, or it doesn't go a lot deeper than that at all. I haven't enjoyed 1 minute of having Izzy, and that's not what having a baby is supposed to be about. And I want to enjoy it. I want to get pleasure out of it, and I see these people with their, oh God, I'm gonna cry. Be alright in a minute. Don't worry. I see people with their babies and I just think, why I want to be like that. I don't want to be how I am.
Zoe's bonding problems with Izzy are intensely painful for mother and baby. Babies' brains develop in response to those around them, and they're acutely sensitive to emotional cues.
What's the matter? Oi. Should we go back in here and find you some toys?
Though Zoe is now trying to engage Izzy, Izzy's too used to her mother looking blank or angry, so avoids looking at her.
You bleeder, aren't you?
And when Izzy gets upset, she can't look to her mother for help. Izzy is turning into a grisly, unhappy baby. And Amanda wants to help Zoe respond differently when Izzy's upset.
On the train on the way down here, she was sort of screaming, and I thought, God, don't, calm down, don't get worked up. Because I sort of go into this black mist of I haven't got a clue what I should be doing with her, As soon as we get in here, because there's someone else paying her attention, she'll be fine.
Do you not think she wants your attention at all?
I think she wants it too much, and I think because I begrudge giving it, it's almost like she wants it more because I don't want to give it.
She can't say hello, Mum. I know the journey down here was really terrible, and I was a horrible, screaming, needy baby.
And
We're going to play with you in a little while. Don't worry. We are. I can see you're keen for it. But we're not going to play just yet because Mummy's telling me something important. Okay? Okay? Last week you said that there was nothing worse in your mind than the thought of a clinging child.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me more about that?
I used to see kids that would cling on to their moms for dear life and wouldn't want to go into nursery and would scream and cry, and I'd think, thank God I had that feeling because I couldn't bear a child doing that with me.
What would it make you feel?
Like I hadn't brought them up to be independent, and I don't know why I just don't think it's healthy for a child to be that attached, I suppose.
Zoe dreads the idea of a needy child. Perhaps because from quite a young age, she tried not to need her own mother.
My mum and dad split up when I was about 11, I think. My mum didn't choose to take me with her. It was sort of, I was left with my dad and that was it. And I always felt like, I felt a bit let down that she hadn't sort of taken me. So I think no matter how I feel about my children, that's the one thing I could never do because I had it done to me. Mm. And that's like a vicious cycle because a lot of the time I feel like doing it and think, God, no, don't put your children in the situation you were in.
So, let's see if we can stop this now. Okay? I'm going to see if your mum's going to be able just to be a little bit more of a game too. Okay? Because actually, it doesn't take a lot with you, does it? Do you feel nervous to talk to her a bit? You're so frightened she's going to reject you.
I know I want to do it, but I don't know how and I don't know what.
She just comes a bit closer to you. I promise this won't turn her into a greedy monster for the rest of her life. But it will just help her just at the moment, won't it? Hey? It'll just help you just at the moment. That's right. The thing is, I'm Izzy's therapist as well as Zoe's therapist, and so I could tell that she felt ignored and she started beginning to get upset with that. And then as Zoe had Izzy in her lap and Izzy felt, that we were both paying attention to her, she settled very quickly and cheered up.
But being with Amanda is very different from being at home, where Zoe's days are filled with the relentless business of being a mother.
When Zoe's at home alone, it's really difficult for her to know how to respond to Izzy's bids for attention. When Izzy's crying or screaming, it's as if all Zoe hears her saying is, "Mum, I hate you, you're useless, you're getting it all wrong, you're a complete failure."
Yes?
Zoe feels terrible, and so she then can't hear Izzy's cries as saying, "Mum, I've just woken up, I need you. Mum, I've got pain in my tummy, I'm hungry. Mum, I'm feeling frightened, I'm falling apart."
In the next session, Amanda watches Zoe as she struggles to stop Izzy crying.
Why she does this? Drinks it and then spits it out and screams and then drinks it again. I just feel absolutely useless. See what you're doing this for? See, this is a prime example of what she does at home. When I think she's tired and she won't give up. Yeah, I don't know, do you want this? You see what I mean? How on earth am I supposed to know?
The thing is that we can't control a baby. You do everything. You can do everything you can try everything. But sometimes babies, they just feel out of sorts and not okay. You just have to keep trying, Izzy.
If I'm holding her and she's screaming, then she obviously doesn't want me, does she?
I think you take it so personally. Try and talk to her.
I don't feel like I can then.
Is it? So what's up, Izzy? Izzy, what's up? It's so hard to stay with it, isn't it?
See, that's making no difference whatsoever.
Just needs not to give up. But Izzy gets in states. She gets in states. That would be hard for any mum to stick with.
So it reduced me to the point of tears and then give up.
That's what it feels like to you. That's not what she's intending. I think she really appreciates the fact you've stayed with her with it. You know,
That was really
because
hard,
it's
though.
so difficult.
I really just wanted to put her down and walk out. Really.
A month in, and Zoe's turned a corner. She now realises she can comfort her baby.
Oh, the busy world.
I've definitely taken a lot from it. I'm not good at taking sort of, not orders, but being told how to do things. But because she does it in such a way that it's non-confrontational and it's like the soft approach, I sort of absorb it really well, and I don't realise I'm taking it in until I'll come home and do something with Izzy and think, oh, I know where I've got that from. What I have to do is lift you out, put you on the floor and then wrap you up, I think. Ready? I kept just thinking about what Amanda said. She's really thankful that you haven't given up.
Oh, quickly. There we go. Oh.
And it does work, but it's like fits and starts.
Oh, done.
Hi.
These are probably going to be huge, aren't they?
From Izzy's point of view, things are actually getting a little bit easier. Her main symptom at the beginning of therapy was her very marked avoidance of Zoe, of looking at her mother's face and so forth. And now we see a change in that.
It's like even silly things, like if she'll sit in the bouncer at home. Granny Grimble's there. What are you doing? And when I walk in now, she goes mad and starts bouncing around, and it's like, I almost feel like, oh my God, she does love me, you know? Hey, look, what's this? She doesn't hate me anymore, and then I think, well, perhaps that's because I don't hate her as much anymore, and that a lot of those feelings aren't as prominent as they were. I've had a couple of those moments where I've looked at her and felt that feeling that I think I'm supposed to feel.
But as Izzy reaches 7 months, Zoe gets some worrying news. Izzy has to go to hospital for a hernia operation. Zoe's got friends round to give support.
Oh yeah.
I don't like it when you cry. Dreading it.
She'll be fine, though. Mummy'll be fine.
It's an hour long, though.
Is it?
Yeah, I thought it was about 20 minutes, and because they did a pre-op over the phone, because we live here, obviously, and it's Birmingham. And I said, how long is the operation? And she said, well, at least an hour. And I was like, oh my God, I thought I could cope with 20 minutes, but
An hour.
An hour.
Cheers, it's fine.
Just got a bit overtired, didn't you?
Any mother would worry about their baby going for an operation. But Zoe also has to relive her traumatic memories of Izzy's birth.
I feel like my head has gone completely blank.
I think what we're in the grip of is how you manage feeling pressured,
Yeah.
which is to blank out, to numb.
The numbness has been almost like my saviour when things have been in myself when things have been going wrong.
It's painful to feel love.
Yeah, because yeah.
It's no accident she keeps kicking your mug because you're holding on to your mug to not touch her, I think.
Zoe's so anxious that she can hardly bear to touch Izzy. She's gone right back to how she felt at the start of therapy.
In terms of holding her to play, what's that like at the moment?
She gets quite agitated this week.
This week?
Yeah.
Do you mind to show me now?
But I mean, the last 2 days she hasn't even, she will literally tip her head away from me and just struggle immensely.
So there's,
Pardon you?
so there's an expression in your eyes or tension in your
that she
face.
must be seeing.
So we have to see today if we can make you feel that it's okay to look in your mummy's face.
Should we stand up? Should we stand up? Ready? There you go. There you go. No, still not looking at me.
It'll take a bit of time. We'll get there. Just call her.
Hello. Izzy. Izzy. Isabel. Oi. Isabel.
Don't give up.
Izzy. Isabel.
Just keep your head in the same place.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Because that way, when she finds you, she finds
Oh, is that right?
you. Izzy, I could see, was already picking up on Zoe's emotional state, and she had gone back to her old way of coping, as it were, and was becoming a bit more avoidant of her mother again.
Isabel. It's almost like she's like ignoring me.
I'm actually really worried about this operation, not just because of what it's going to mean physically for Izzy, but also that, you know, Zoe is really frightened it's going to plunge her back into a very dark, cut-off place. And I know that for Izzy's point of view, that will be catastrophic if that happens now.
Three months into treatment, Zoe's growing bond with Izzy, her premature baby she'd found so difficult to love, was threatened as Izzy faced a return to hospital. In the lead up to the operation, Zoe became to touch Izzy again, and Izzy became withdrawn. Today, Amanda will hear how it went.
You've been through a lot this week, haven't you? Hey, major things have happened in the week since we saw one another last. Yeah. Hey, someone going to tell me about it, what it's been like for you all?
They called us back in when she woke up and she was sort of screaming and I could tell it was her crying. I was like, oh my God, you know, sort of running in, thinking, I don't know, it was like a maternal instinct, you know, I just wanted to get to her and hold her because I knew whoever she was with, she wouldn't know, and I never ever thought I'd feel like that, ever. I don't know, the tears just ran out of me. It was like someone turned a tap on.
You were feeling a lot.
Yeah. What are you doing? Hey? Oh.
Shall we stand you up? Hey? Shall we stand you up, little one?
Izzy also seems more cheerful and relaxed around her mother.
Here we go. Change your position a bit. There we go. She's so responsive and alert. This is not a depressed little baby by any stretch of the imagination. I was fearing the worst for them, but this operation had actually provided a kind of breakthrough for them, because actually Zoe experienced in the hospital all of the feelings, the rush of feelings that she had wanted to feel when Izzy was born. They were all there, and they felt like normal feelings. She felt like a normal mum, and this was immense relief for her. She no longer felt like a freak.
Mine is gone.
Have you got, yeah, you have. Stand
Mine
up.
is gone.
Yours is all gone?
Yeah.
What have you done with it? You're going to have to use my French connection then, aren't you? What you got? Liz. You fed up now? Oh yeah, shut your arms
I'm
in
not
there.
fed up. I'm not.
Oh! Oh, it's horrible. Quick! Who's that? Who's that?
At last, Zoe is feeling the joys of being a mother. But this change has brought darker feelings long suppressed to the surface.
I am really nervous about talking about this, so you have to, like, bear with me. Because I don't feel like I love my mum, how you should love your mum. I almost feel like I can't cry about it anymore, because I have spent years and years crying and getting upset, and even to the point where I desperately didn't want to be like my mum. But like I said to Dave, I said I could see myself turning into that person, and I made myself stop. So why can't she?
In earlier sessions, Zoe described how hurt she felt when her mother left the family. But that's only part of the story.
She's very intimidating when she's drunk, especially because she has physically hit me in the past. It doesn't matter how old I get, I still have that innate fear. Anyway, we had a massive row. I said to her, you know, I really like you as a person, when you haven't had a drink. But when you have a drink, you turn into somebody that I don't want to be around. And for me, I know it sounds like an easy thing to say, but for me, it took immense balls for me to do it.
Part of you is still a frightened child. You're terrified you're going to get sworn at and...
Yeah.
What should we do about you? Because Mum and I have to talk this through.
What's this?
Sometimes subjects are very serious, Izzy. Eh? Very serious. Your mummy really needs help with this one. I think you've opened up a hugely important subject.
Well, I knew it would be. That's why I kind of avoided talking about
We
it.
can't fix it in a session.
No. All the way home on the train, all I felt like I wanted to do was cry. Sort of like I'd betrayed my mum in a way, and I felt really guilty. In a way, it's made me feel worse, not towards Izzy, but in myself. Really makes me wonder how her relationship was with me when I was a baby. I really wonder whether she was in the same situation as me, perhaps, and the reason she is where she is now is because she didn't deal with it.
For the next 3 months of therapy, Zoe and Amanda explore the difficulties of her childhood and adolescence, and Zoe's painful memories of her relationship with her mother.
The stuff about her childhood is so very complicated and has affected her in so many different ways, which she's starting now to explore. It means that life is actually very painful for Zoe a lot of the time. However, something that's actually helping her is the fact that her relationship with her own daughters is actually feeling much better.
Why are you not
So what have you done on the computer today then?
I've done nothing.
You have. Tell
Yes,
me.
I have.
I've definitely got a different relationship with Zara now. I picked her up and she put her arms around me and she went, "I love you, Mummy." And I went, "Oh, I love you too." It must be because she senses a difference in me.
I couldn't find you a water bottle, Ozzy.
Oh,
Didn't have any at Morrison's.
oh,
Oh,
I'm cross.
are you? And me, because I was looking forward to getting you one.
Because I'm calmer, she's calmer, and everybody's calmer, and
Got to look. Can we go?
I don't want them to have the relationship with me
Yeah. Come on then.
that I do with my mum.
You want to sort of protect from another unhappy mother-daughter story. You've got huge influence there about the self-esteem that Izzy is going to develop. You and Dave have got such power there to influence that to form in a way that she can feel good about herself. What you can't necessarily influence that much is your mum, how she feels about herself and how she behaves. And it's going to take a bit of time. But then perhaps you can also look at it and think, well, at the end of September, you were in a very different place to where you are now.
Yeah.
It's April, and Izzy has reached her first birthday.
Blow it properly.
It's because I've got such a good relationship with Izzy now that I'm almost scared that I'm going to let her down by being upset.
Baby.
You know, her picking up on it, and it's her birthday and I'm desperately not wanting to sort of let it get to me, but yeah, I think it is a bit, if I'm honest. It basically, all it is that Izzy's birth was not a happy event for me or Dave.
Who's that?
It's the anniversary of the most traumatic time of my life.
What is it?
Wiggly.
So it's sort of fighting that with Izzy being a year old and it being a happy event.
Dancing.
Zoe has been doing her best to improve her relationship with her own mother, But now she's taken one of the most difficult decisions of her life.
Don't want to have anything to do with her again. So yeah, whew. I'll start getting all emotional. I just think it's not worth it. I've got my sanity back, and I think having her in my life will just... There'll always be that possibility she'll drag me down again.
Have this one now. Do this. It is.
So that's it. Draw a line underneath it and move on.
That's it.
The alcohol was a significant problem. So Zoe made a decision that whilst alcohol was still part of her mother's life, that she would leave it for the time being.
Her decision's been made easier by a big improvement in her relationship with her father.
Oh, get on with it. You've got a bucket full to do.
All right. Well, you can have a go and all.
I'm going to save myself for the game. Zoe's just more at peace with the world, I think.
Yeah, but I'm getting better, Dad, you see.
The issues with Isabel and the birth and a new baby and not feeling how she should feel. There you go. Good shot. The therapy that she told me she was taking for that, I didn't expect to have such a profound effect on her overall life psyche, or whatever the term is. She's just a better woman for it all. Perfect. Go on, ball. Go on. Go on, ball. Go on. Go on. Go on.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on the green. There for two. Fantastic. You look so surprised.
I am. It's because I got no confidence.
The fact Zoe has, it seems like, really severed any ties with her mum now, I find sad, but completely understandable. Oh, that's hard, that is. You're coming up on your toes again.
Also, I'm not a head case anymore.
Well, you're never a head case, but I was always waiting for the next drama.
Yeah, well, it's just nice to know now that there were sort of reasons behind why I was like that.
I did mention it from time to time to Zoe that she was like her mum, and when I did say that, we'd have a big row because she didn't want to be like her mum. But she was. There was, and she isn't now. And I'm so chuffed about that. It's just brilliant. Well done.
How was that for me? 10? The big one.
That? No, I don't want that. Horrible, yeah.
So I've only got the 2 other ones. Yeah.
In a month's time, Zoe and Izzy's treatment together must end, as Izzy is beginning to understand what adults say.
My mum says I'm going to grow up to be a proper little bad.
And Zoe will no longer be able to speak freely in front of her. Is the bond between them secure enough to survive challenges in the future?
Very clever girl, yeah!
Amanda's about to see what lessons still could be learnt.
You're a clever girl.
Just sit still a minute, Iz, please.
Izzy is now 16 months old, and her therapy with her mother Zoe is almost over.
Be all right. The fact that there's been somebody else.
Amanda wants to see how far they've come and explore where their relationship remains fragile.
She probably will cry.
Zoe and Izzy are doing the strange situation experiment. Amanda will watch through a viewing mirror to see how Izzy reacts when her mother leaves her with a stranger in an unfamiliar room. The hope is that, though Izzy might get upset for a while, she'll recover when her mother comes back and soon return to playing happily, a sign that she's secure.
So if we start with, would you mind sitting in a chair? And yeah, if she initiates play, then you can respond to it, but we just ask you not to initiate it.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. I will see you in a minute.
A stranger enters. As instructed, Zoe leaves the room without reassuring Izzy.
Oh, it's hard for her not to say goodbye.
The yellow ones. What should we do with the yellow ones, Izzy?
This is stressful for Izzy and Zoe.
Oh, it makes me want to cry. Oh.
She's trying. Oh, look at her rubber eye. Shame. Tears are going to come now. She doesn't want the stranger at all.
The stranger leaves and Zoe returns to Izzy.
Hello. Hello. All right. Okay. You sit up then. There we go. Good girl. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Sit and have a play then.
It's normal that Izzy would be upset, but she doesn't seem reassured by having her mother back.
Oh dear. What's this? Get some play. There we go. Oh God, please. Okay. Okay. What's this? What's... Oh, all right then. Okay.
Zoe's been told to return to her chair to see whether Izzy has recovered enough to play alone again. But for Izzy, her mother leaving her side is now too much to bear. It shows that although Izzy now loves her mother, she's still very vulnerable.
This is a surprise. Because this has been really difficult. Hasn't it, Iz? This has been really difficult
She won't even let me put her down.
This has been so hard. Hey.
Amanda and Zoe take Izzy back into the room that she's used to. And Izzy cheers up.
Oh, sorry, Iz. Good girl.
Hooray!
But Zoe feels like they've both failed.
I'm angry with myself because I thought I got it right and I obviously haven't.
Zoe, let's think about what happened in there. First of all, Izzy played and explored with the objects in a really kind of normal way, didn't she? She was a bit cautious of the stranger, but she didn't fall apart, you know, too quick.
No, it's just over
when
me,
left
isn't it?
with the stranger. But what we know is that when she clearly has a sensitivity to if she feels abandoned by you. Now, you would never intentionally abandon her. That's why the situation is so artificial. But what at least we know is that from Izzy's point of view, that's awful for her. That shows how important you are to her. If you think maybe what you're worried about she might have felt when she was very, very little, you know, that you were quite distant.
Yeah.
We certainly know she doesn't ever want to feel that loss again. Hey?
What? Yeah.
After all, we're only 10 months down the line, and that would be rather saying that, you know, to have suffered terribly for 6 months, well, you can wave a magic wand and get it all better straight away, and I don't think that's realistic.
Today's been very challenging, but Amanda has brought Zoe and Izzy a long way. For her first lonely 6 months, Izzy was spending hours lying on the floor as her mother could hardly bear to touch her. Today, when the experiment made her mother seem distant again, Izzy reverted to this helpless position in a very striking way. But during therapy, Zoe learnt that showing Izzy affection would not make her clingy and began to be responsive to her. Izzy began to build up memories that her mother could be comforting. By the time Izzy was crawling, she felt safe to move away from Zoe, checking back at her, but beginning to explore the world with confidence.
I suppose when I think about Izzy's vulnerability, we wouldn't necessarily see this on a daily basis because she's well protected and Mum's, pretty much always around her. It's quite clear to see that Zoe loves Izzy. You can see it in the expression in her eye. And Izzy is clearly very, very, very attached and loving towards her mother. So again, I think that Zoe's earned that.
Zoe has learnt that her relationship with Izzy can set the emotional blueprint for Izzy's future. The hope is, in years to come, Izzy and Zoe's fragile bond will grow stronger and stronger and become unbreakable.
Dave's mum said to me, we were talking about therapy, she said, but you'd have loved her eventually, wouldn't you? And I was like, it really made me think, because I thought, I don't think I would have without the help, because I just got to a point I've never been to before.
It's okay, sweetie.
Made me think, God, I'm so lucky. I'm all right, now, and we have such a nice bond, and it's more precious for me because she was born and I didn't have it, and therapy's helped me deal with it, and it was the best thing I ever did.
It's a clever girl. It's a clever girl.
I was sat holding her, I was sort of looking at her hair. And I just burst into tears, and I was just looking at the hair on her head thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't feel like this about you.
In the next programme, a young mother loves one of her twins, but not the other.